Hi, I want to welcome everyone this afternoon to our first Zoom cooking class. We're so excited because we have so many of you with us this afternoon. And I want to thank Chef Yaniv and our co-chairs of this event, Debbie Gaines and Susan Goldstein, for doing a pivot on this event, which we should have had live in April. And with the pandemic and everything else, we've had to switch. And we're really excited that we were able to do this. It's going to be fun. I hope everyone has their ingredients and all that good stuff. Just wanted to let you know that I am Karen Schloss, co-president of Sisterhood. My co-president's Lisa Franklin, and we've had a really fun time coming up with some new and exciting events along with Susan and Debbie and Rabbi Jessica to Zoom with you. And if you guys can just look at your emails that come out on Sundays to see what events we have coming up. On Thursday, June 25th, we have an event, a Women in Balance event. It's going to be with Dr. Marla Reese, and it's going to be a self-care during difficult times and stressful times. So she's going to be having a discussion with us, and it should be a really great event. It's at 7 o'clock. So hopefully you guys can sign up. The event has gone out in your emails. And also we are working on events for July and August that are really going to be some really great events. We're just fine tuning those. So we don't have them yet to publicize, but just keep looking at your emails. And without further ado, we're so happy to begin our cooking program. And Susan Goldstein is going to take it from here. So thank you. And hopefully we'll make some yummy things together this afternoon. Susan?
Okay. Hi, everybody. If you have any questions, go to the chat room, and Karen will be monitoring the chat room and sending the question to Yaniv live so that he can answer your question. The first thing is we don't know much about Chef. And Chef, I was wondering if you could share a little of your background with us. Where did you learn to cook? You know, when did you get here? So just give us a little background on who you are.
So my name is Yaniv. I was born in Israel, 45 years old. Was born in Be'er Sheva. And I gotta say, you call me chef, but I'm not formally trained as a chef. I learned to cook. I start, being in the kitchen when I was around 12, 13, opening the pots to my grandmother. I had two grandmothers. One is Iraqi and one is Moroccan. Wow. And over there, I asked them. I was looking at what they did. I smelled the food. I tasted the food. I saw what they do to grocery shopping, how they do the grocery shopping, which pots they use, and all the small things that are making the really good, authentic Moroccan and Iraqi food. And this is that's my specialty, Middle Eastern food. And ever since I've been cooking, to my family, to friends, and did a few events. I just love to cook. That's what I do, and I love it, and always learning new things, learning about more spices, how to use them, techniques, and that's my passion. My true passion is to cook. I love to cook.
I think you've earned the honorary title of chef, so we will continue to call you chef.
Thank you.
And I think the menu that you chose for us makes so much sense today because it is so hot out, and the menu you chose is just perfect. And I'll let you explain a little bit about the menu.
Yeah. So first, if somebody's gonna cook with me, I suggest to turn on the stove, the oven's just for around maybe 385, 395, just so we can do the pita later. So what I've chosen today is basically, I would say, essentially Israeli food is the Israeli salad, of course, that everybody knows and like. Tahini sauce that you can almost use on everything. You can put the sauce in the salad. You can eat it with chips, with pita. You eat it in falafel. People put it in hummus also. With meat, it's good with meat. With almost anything that you can imagine, people put tahini sauce on everything. So I think it's an Israeli staple, and of course the salad and the pita bread, which is what we're gonna do today is just we're gonna take the pita and we're gonna season it a little bit. We'll have more flavor, and we can put the tahini sauce on top or to dip it. And of course the salad. I also send a recipe for the kebab, but you know, you guys can do it at home. If somebody wants to ask a few questions at the end about the kebab, I can definitely answer and go over it. You know,
we didn't send them that recipe, but we will, so that if they want to do that on their own. So you can talk about the recipe, but they don't have it.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, so I think we're gonna start with the tahini sauce. Everybody has the recipes, so we're gonna. You can do it in a measuring cup. You can do it. You can eyeball it, but this is the tahini that I'm using.
Oops.
Chef, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry. Hello?
Yeah. My tahini looks like peanut butter. Did it go bad?
Yaniv, we can hear you now.
Okay. I put it in the fridge. Some people don't put it in the fridge because sometimes the bottom of the tahini is getting a little bit hard.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's okay the way it is. So we put about 1/4 cup of tahini sauce, just the raw, unseasoned. Recommended to use cold water. The same amount of cold water. So I just put the water, and I use 1 ice cube just to make it colder. So we put 1 ice cube just to make it colder. It's colder, it's just better. It's recommended to do it this way. Give it a rough mix. It's a little bit thick, so I just add a little bit more water. Very little bit more. We can use a whisk, make things a little bit easier.
Chef, is there one recipe for this tahini sauce with everybody having their own personal variations, or is there?
Yeah. So an Iraqi thing, a lot of people in Iraq, they use mint inside the tahini sauce. Some people use parsley, some people don't use anything. Just do it with, you know, without any herbs. What I like to add is some garlic too. So we have the water, the tahini. So this is the consistency. It's gonna get a little bit more. It's gonna get a little bit more thin when we're gonna add some lemon. About 4 spoons of lemon. I like to do it in a measuring cup or in something that will give us, option to mix it. So we got the lemon here, about 4 spoons. The lemon makes all the flavors. You have to have lemon. Don't be skimpy on the lemon.
Okay.
Now we see it's a little bit more watery. What I have here is a fresh lemon juice that I squeezed. And since we're gonna also use it for the salad, so in any citrus juicer, we just squeeze some lemon, and this thing can be in the fridge for about a week or even a little bit more than a week. So it's good if you're using lemon, you squeeze it one time, and then we have lemon. Another trick that I want to share with you is this. What you see here is garlic that is being processed and chopped. So to use raw garlic and to cut it, it takes time every time. I understand a lot of people don't use it because they said that the aroma of the garlic is being kept when it's fresh. I like to use it, I freeze it. So what I do is I take the garlic that is already peeled, and I buy it in Costco in a big bag, and then I put it in the Vitamix with a little bit of olive oil after it's defrosted, and it become a paste. And this is it. This is like a paste. It's very thin. It's like butter. So I can add it to anything without being too chunky. And even when you chop it, so it's not going to be chunky. It's going to be very smooth. So I add it to the mixture of the tahini. If, of course, if you don't have it, you take the garlic, chop it, fine, and just add it. I like bold flavor, so I add garlic. This is my tahini sauce. So some people, they don't use garlic, they just use, salt and pepper and lemon. You cannot be skimpy on the lemon. I love the lemon in tahini, it's very important. So we have the mixture here. We're gonna add some parsley. So I have some parsley. That's how I keep my parsley. After I buy it at the store, I remove the band. Usually there is a band here that is rubber or those thin paper that is covered with a metal that is covered with paper. So for this application, I don't want to use the branches. I just want to use the leaves. So I just by hand just take it out like this. These ones I use it for chicken stock. I make my own chicken stock from leftover of chicken skin, and sometimes if I have bones or stuff like that, all parts of chicken, I take some leaves, the stems of the parsley and the stems of the cilantro, some celery, and I just with a few bay leaves. So I don't throw away food. I don't like to throw away food. I don't like to waste it. So everything is being used, including those. I just keep them and using them later. So we have some parsley here, about 1/4 cup. I'm just gonna rinse it to give it a quick chop.
Chef, meanwhile, could you repeat what you do with the garlic? Some people aren't familiar with a Vitamix.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
So this is the Vitamix. It's a blender, a good blender. Okay. So I take the garlic when it's peeled. You can buy peeled garlic everywhere. Just put it here. Add a little bit of olive oil, and just let it run until it's becoming very fine paste. And then I take some containers and I freeze it in in small containers. And every time you want to use it, you just take it out of the freezer and it's like this. You can use a smaller container, and you just cut it with a knife like this.
Oh.
After 5 minutes outside, it's already soft. So it's very easy to use, and I find it very good. There is actually a company that is in a kibbutz. The name of the kibbutz is Kibbutz Dorot, and what they do is they specialize in garlic. So they take the garlic, they mash it like this, and they put it in small containers, like ice cubes, but it's garlic cubes, small, something like this. And then every time you want to use it, you just pop it out. It's been in the freezer. You pop it out and you add it to the whatever it is that you're cooking. Anything, fish, potatoes. You make a mixture, and it's good.
Okay.
Instead of every time using every time use the fresh garlic, I find it easier. So I have the parsley here. Just give it a quick chop. What I like to do with the parsley is to stack it and to chop it.
And we saw you sharpening that knife. So it's a very sharp
That's
knife.
one of my favorite knives. It's a Miyabi. I add it to the mixture. I mix it a little bit. And the most important thing is salt and pepper, of course. I'm just gonna add it. I like to use the salt like this.
Okay.
So I just add, not too much, and some pepper. And that's all. I'm just gonna let it sit. Many times that I use it, if I take it for a barbecue or a lot of people want to use it, so I use a squeeze bottle like this.
Oh.
And the thing about this is that the parsley is being stuck in the hole. So I have a little bit of bigger hole here that I cut. And then
Hey, Chef, can you unmute yourself?
Oops.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So you can put it in a squeeze bottle, and then you can pass it around. I give it a quick taste. Good. So we can transfer it into a container. We can use it like this, and cover it, put it in the fridge. So this is the tahini sauce. We're gonna move to the salad now. Any question about the sauce, the tahini sauce?
Nope.
No.
I'm just trying to get some people signed up here.
Okay. Okay, so salad, Israeli salad. Everybody's here?
I think so.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
good.
Okay. Israeli salad, again, many variations. I'm just doing something basic that I've been doing for many years. I have a mixing bowl here. I'm gonna start with the tomatoes that I washed and peeled and dried. I like to cut the edges on each side. Then I use this smaller knife for these applications. cut it like that. 2 cuts that are to the length.
Are those beefsteak tomatoes?
I use Roma tomatoes here.
Roma,
But-
okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're not gushing out, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, so two.
What in the world?
Some people like to take out this part. That is, you know, this part.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I do it. Okay, what else we got here? Cucumbers. I like to use those cucumbers. You can get it in Costco or sometimes in Walmart. They have the small ones. Aroma has them, and I like to leave them with the peel. My kids, they eat it without the peel.
Okay.
So for the salad, I like to do about 2 cuts like this, but I keep the cucumber as a whole after I cut it. And then I just put it like this on the cutting board. And then this is what we're getting, something like this. This is how it looks.
My chopping did not look like that, not at all. But
Some people can cut it a quarter like this, 2 quarters, and then same thing.
nice, nice.
Okay, that's another cut. And if you really like it, you know, if you wanna do a different cut, there's those just circles like this.
Okay.
You know, or you can do half. Depends on the size of the cucumber. As long as it's chopped, you know, we don't want it too big. So we got that. And next we're gonna use onion. I like to use on salads only purple onion.
Yeah.
Not white onion. So I just peeled it. I cut about something like this. And another thing about the onion, that to keep it tight and not messy, we make 1 cut. So we use this as we keep it, this part. We don't chop it. We keep it like this, and this is holding the onions. It's holding it like this. So after I did a cut here, I'm doing a few cuts like that, and it's still holding. And we see that we have the half an onion, and then just a fine chop all the way down. And then this piece, we don't need it. Garbage.
You make it look so easy.
It's easy. You just need practice. That's all. So we got that. Now very unutilized herb that I love to use, and it's free. It's growing in my garden. My planter is mint. So it's a little bit goes a long way. So I take about, a bunch, something like this. If it has big thick stems, I don't want to use the stems. But this mint is fine. The stems are thin, like you see here. It's not thick. I don't like stems in the salad.
No.
So I have the mint here. Again, I'm going to do the same thing with the parsley and the cilantro. I'm going to chop everything in one time. So I take the cilantro, the parsley.
Chef, what would you say to me if you knew I was using a cooking scissors to chop the herbs? Is that a big no-no?
I think it takes longer, and I just I use it sometimes. I use it for rosemary, but not for the cilantro and I mean, if it works for you, that's fine. As long as
I'm lazy.
as long as you're getting the result.
Okay.
So I have here the cilantro, parsley, and the mint. I make like a bowl, and then I start chop it fine. You cannot do that with scissors.
No.
And the herbs are really doing all the difference in the salad. It opens up all the flavors, and it's that's the essence of the salad. So here, no scissors, just like that. So we have all the herbs here. I put it in the bowl.
Okay.
Now, about the seasoning. So I have all the ingredients here ready. I just give it a quick mix. When we start to put the salt, the salad begin to get watery. So we want to put the salt really before everything is ready.
Okay.
We can put the lemon though. The lemon is no problem. So
we have a quick question. How do you keep that cilantro so fresh?
okay, good question. So when I buy it at the store, immediately when I come home, I like I said before, I take there is like a rubber or a piece that is holding everything here. I put it on a paper towel and I open it. I just open it because it's wet. Usually it's wet. In the grocery store, they spray water over there all the time.
Yeah.
So you need to dry it, not to wash it. Once you washed it, it's bad because then it's getting rotten. So I also sometimes I open it and I go over if there is some green leaves that are not green, or yellow leaves, or rotten stuff. I take it out, and then I take a paper towel after it's dry, about an hour outside or something like this, half an hour. I take a paper towel, I wrap everything good, and then I put it in a Ziploc, just like that, and it can hold up to a week. Nice.
Pretty nifty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have the salad. I'm just gonna put the lemon.
Okay. Me too.
About 4 or 5 spoons of lemon juice, that also easy to squeeze before. Just give it a little mix. I'm just gonna put it in the fridge to let it, you know, get a little bit colder before we serve it.
So healthy.
Healthy. And now we have the last part. Everybody, I hope they have their ovens on. So I put the oven on 395. If you have a convection, you can put it on 375. Just cook faster. So what we're gonna do is pretty simple. I'm gonna do one. You can do it with more. I bought those pitas in Aroma. They're fresh from today. So we're just gonna open them. Just like that.
So
With a small
Aroma
knife.
is your hangout, right? If we want to see you, that's where you hang out at Aroma.
Yeah, in Aroma, in Whole Foods, grocery stores. That's my hobby.
That's your hangout. Okay.
My hangout place. So we got those open just like that.
Okay.
The first thing that I want to do is two ways to do it. We can put all the mixture in a bowl and then use a small brush like this and then brush the pita just like that. Or we can just do it freestyle. Just take the oil, sprinkle some oil here, and then just, you know, sprinkle the seasonings. I'm gonna do it the second way I described. Both ways are good. So I have some olive oil here, some salt, pepper, and then I'm gonna bring the other spices. So I'm just gonna show it on this part. I have this tip here that doesn't allow a lot of oil to be spilled. If you don't have this tip, you can just use a thumb to cover, because we don't want too much oil. We just want a little bit. So just like that. This is about what we have here.
Oh.
That's the base. So the first step is the oil, so everything is gonna stick to it. Then a little bit of salt sprinkled.
Okay.
A little bit of pepper. Then we got the za'atar.
Oh, I knew I forgot something.
This is what I got in Aroma.
I forgot to get it.
I just want to tell you, I don't have any connection to Aroma. I'm not getting paid to do advertising there. It's just that they have the stuff, so you know. So this is very Israeli stuff. Also, a lot of in Jerusalem, it's a plant. It grows everywhere. You can get it and the real plant and just dry it. They add some sesame to it too. It's a pretty intense flavor, but I think it's very good for this one. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of za'atar here. Some people like it also in the salad. Gives good flavor in the salad. I like to use also a little bit of rosemary.
Okay.
Just a sprinkle of rosemary here. And some thyme, some dry thyme. We're just gonna take some time and I don't want to spill it, so I just put it in the cover. Again, it's pretty strong flavors when the spices are dry. So
Yeah.
once I did that, I have the oven on. I take a knife, preferably a big one, and I just cut it to quarters. Like this.
Okay.
I put it in a tray. We can use a tray that has a mesh like this, so it's not going to stick to the pan. And the oven, just like that, the oven is preheated on 395, about 10 minutes, give or take. Keep an eye on it.
Would you ever nuke it?
Never. Oh my God, no.
Okay. Sorry.
Microwave. For me, the microwave is only for soup, maybe also not all the time, and maybe rice. I also add a little bit of water to the whatever I heat up in the microwave.
Okay.
So we got the tahini is getting colder.
Mhm.
Once it's colder, it's gonna be a little bit thicker. When it's room temperature, it becomes a little bit thinner. So once the pita bread is gonna be ready, I'm gonna present it, the whole thing. And if somebody has any questions until everything is ready, this is the time. I'm ready. Any questions somebody wants to ask about the kebab or any cutting techniques or anything?
We do have a question. What brand of knife do you use and how do you keep it so sharp?
Okay, good question. So I cook a lot and knives are important to me, so I'm willing to spend the money. There are two, major companies, not companies, two, what do you call? Two kinds, let's say. There is the Japanese handle and there is the more European handle. This is the European handle with the Japanese steel. It's this is a Miyabi. It's Chef Morimoto. You know Chef Morimoto from Iron Chef, the Japanese one. If somebody watches Iron Chef, so that's his line. But it's made by Zwilling. That's the company. They make
Zwilling.
knives.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Henkel's, Zwilling Henkel's.
Yeah.
I have this knife for about 8 years, and the important thing is that this edge here, I don't know if you can see it, will stay sharp, and this has a lifetime warranty. So if something happens, I go to Sur La Table. That's where I bought it in Meisner. It's about $140. This one is an 8-inch. I have also another one. This is Global. This is their signature with the handle that is that has those black dots. It's a one piece. You see, it's all made of one piece. This one has the blade is also, it's a one piece and it has those the black handle. Very comfortable. I think the basic stuff is 2 knives. You need one big utility knife that you can cut chicken, fish, everything that is, requires a little bit longer blade, and it's also good for chopping. A lot of people has also a Santuco knife, I don't, because I don't need it, which has a straight blade here, and it's more curved here.
Oh.
It's the Santuco knife, that's what it's called. And this is a knife that I'm using, that's my go-to knife, the Global. I usually go about once every 6 months to 12 months to sharpen it professionally at the store. It costs
Sur la
$5.
table.
Yeah, in Sur la Table over there by on Meisner
Yep.
Park. And but I also have the knife that my mom is using all the time.
Oh.
My mom is afraid of big knives. She's a good cook, but she's afraid of big knives. And this is the one. This is it's a paring knife.
Oh, that's cute.
The brand is, this is the brand. It's called Fixwell. And every time I go to Israel, there is only one.
Oops. What happened?
And
There.
we go there together. I get a few of them. They cannot be sharpened because they have the, they have the teeth here. And in the beginning, it's a very sharp knife. So, but I like those knives. It's also, my wife is using this knife. She doesn't like to use big knives too. It's more friendly, but you cannot chop parsley like this with it. It's the move
No.
is like this. So, but if you want to chop something fast, I use either this one or this one. And I sharpen them, every now and then. I also have a knife that I'm using for, everybody needs a bread knife. So I have this knife.
Wow.
This knife, I have it for 15 years, hasn't been sharpened or anything. It's one of those strong knife that can cut wood and everything. It's very, very sharp and strong. I use this for watermelon and sometimes bread. And I have all kinds of other, just Arcos. This is more some stuff they use in Israel, but mostly those two. These are my knives that I'm using.
Very good.
And I like them. So if
Another
somebody,
question.
yes.
What kind of salt do you use? Are you using kosher?
Good question. I used to use kosher salt, which I think is good in the salty level. It's a little bit higher than what I'm using now. Health trends say that the pink salt, the Himalayan salt, is healthier.
Oh, yeah.
So I switched to that salt. I have the salt in the fine one for general purpose, and I have the salt, the salt shaker.
Would they measure the same amount? I mean, since some are stronger. I mean, if the
Yeah,
recipe.
the kosher salt. If you put a spoon of kosher salt and put a spoon of the pink salt, the pink one is not as salty as the kosher salt. The kosher salt. What I like about the kosher salt that it stays. It's not finely ground, so it stays a little bit longer on the food. If for steaks and meat, you can actually crunch it. It's getting crunchy when you eat it. Sometimes you can feel the salt. But again, this is just for health reasons. So I'm using a little bit the more healthier salt. As much as salt can be healthy, so I'm using a little bit more of that one. Okay. And pepper, I have this one, the fine ground, and I have a pepper grinder that I'm using also. It depends on the application. If I want something that is going to be a little bit more fine, so I use the fine. If I need it more, a little bit bigger, so like in steaks, if I cook steak or meat, so I don't want the fine salt and I don't want the fine pepper, so I use the more.
Some people are nervous. They want you to check the oven. They make sure the pita's okay.
I'll check it.
Please.
So I'll give it another minute because it's still a little bit soft. I'll put it another 1 minute or 2 minutes. Not ready yet, but I'm going to plate everything. Just gonna use this. So this is a good appetizer for anything that you do, small occasion, big occasion. What I'm gonna do is I have a small bowl. I'm gonna put the pita around one side. I'm gonna put the salad, and on the other half I'm gonna put the pita chips, and here I'm gonna put the tahini, so people can, they can take from here and dip it and eat it. So now everything got colder and ready to serve. Just gonna give it a little bit quick mix before. So we have the lemon in the salad. We're gonna add some salt. The salt, the pepper. And of course, super important, olive oil. Everything is in the recipe. And we mix it. And then we're just gonna plate it the way it is. Before we serve, just a little bit of olive oil in the tahini sauce. And for garnish, we're just gonna put a little bit of parsley, just like that. Garnish. And I will not forget the pita chips, so everybody can be okay. This is the paprika that I'm using. It's a sweet with oil. It's a Moroccan paprika that you can get in Israel. I got it from my friend that went to Israel last time, and I got one. And when my parents are coming, they bring me one. I think this is one of the best paprika in the world. You can see the deep color, and the flavor is amazing. And I just put a pinch of it in the tahini, just like that. I'm gonna show how it looks from up here. Okay. And now when the pita bread is ready, I'm gonna switch. Hello?
got lost. My Zoom kicked me off.
Uh-oh.
I hope I didn't miss a whole lot of important stuff.
Can you see it?
Oh, does that look beautiful?
Yeah, so this is a good thing, you know, to serve as an appetizer. You can take the salad, the pita, you can dip just like that.
Oh.
You can take a spoon and drizzle some of the tahini on the pita. And I don't know if somebody did it now with me live, but I'm just gonna give it a bite.
It's delicious.
Yeah, very good. So anybody has any questions? Of course, you can serve it the way that you want. You can do a plate for each, but this is, and you can do more pita bread. It depends on how many people you have.
You know what, Chef? I forgot to tell everyone. The chef you're donating your time today. You are donating your time, and everybody thank him. He did a great job, and we really appreciate what we just learned today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for everybody. And I just wanted to say that I also have, I'm starting something now, garage organizing. So if anybody has anything that he wants to organize in his garage, including shelves, painting, any plaster work, drywall, I can do it. This is what I did in Chicago before we came here to Florida. I was a general contractor, and now I'm looking for something easier. I don't want to work too hard physically. I do want to work. I do like to do some physical work. So garage organizing, shelves, custom, anything, tile work in the garage.
Does a free meal come with it? Does a free
meal?
meal come?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I can take a break in the kitchen and cook while I'm working, and then to go back to the other work.
How do we contact you,
Anybody
Chef?
has any more questions, suggestions?
Questions? Shout them out.
How do we contact you? How do we find you, Chef?
I have a phone. Anybody can call me. You can put my phone in the email. It's a Chicago number. I can tell you it's 847-414-0365. And Susan also has my email address.
Yeah.
And
I will share.
An email.
I will share.
Yeah. And it's also on my construction website, mychicagohandyman.com.
Oh,
I
okay.
still have connection to Chicago. This is where I come from.
Handyman.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Chef, your check for Sur La Table will go into the mail today. Thanks for the good plug for the company. I work for the company.
Yeah, Sur La Table and Roma, I need to get my check from them too.
You look familiar. Yeah.
This is
wonderful.
So good.
Also,
So
another
good.
small tip. Another
Yes.
small tip. I like to use those cutting board boost. This one, this brand.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I have it for about maybe 8-9 years.
Wow.
The only thing it needs is just some oiling from now and then, but it's a working horse. I have also a bigger one than this that I, like maybe double the size. But
Wow.
this is the brand. It's a good one. It's definitely worth the investment, maybe $40, $50, but it lasts for years.
I'm sorry.
This is just a simple one that we have here. Also good. I recommend to everybody to have at least 2 cutting boards. So if you cut meat, like chicken, you want to use a separate cutting board for vegetables and other stuff.
Do you sanitize them to get the smell
Yeah.
of onion? How do you do that?
I have another trick. Let's say I cut an onion on the cutting board. I washed it, yeah, but there is still something. And then I want to cut a pineapple, for example. What do I do? I take the.
Oh,
There you go. I'm not sure.
Can
Try
you hear me?
talking. Yeah.
Okay. So I take the bottom or the top of the pineapple that I cut, just like that, and I rub it on the cutting board.
Oh.
And then when I take the pineapple and cut it, the cutting board has the flavor of the pineapple and not the onion.
Tip. Very good tip.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, one more thing. I heard that you catered dinners, or you used to. Do you still do that? You cater dinners?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did a few things to Michelle, and I did Michelle Cohen, the cantor Michelle, and I think it was 2 years ago to the
I think you did Cantor Lori's
Lori, yes. And I'm gonna do the bat mitzvah of Eliana Cohen, the daughter of Michelle. And I did some other stuff. I did stuff in the Independence Day back then, about 2 years ago, right? For the Sisterhood also.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I cook all the time. I cook for my friends, and we play poker every Sunday, so I'm the cook.
We'll be there.
Yeah. Men only.
Oh, it's too bad.
And I cook. I don't have any problem to cook from my kitchen to 50 people. And I transport the food, and I can cook in your kitchen. So yeah, anything cooking related up to 100 people or a little bit more, I can do it.
You're the bomb. This is really great. Well, thank you.
Very good, guys. Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure. I like doing it. And let me know if there is anything else I can do for anybody. I will be happy to do it.
You got it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Send me the recording. I would like to see it also.
Okay. Whoever in charge.
Very good.
Whoever in charge.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
Take care.
You, Chef.
Take care. Bye-bye.